Hello. It's good to see everybody on here this morning. Let me know when you're getting on here who's all here. We have Addie and Abby, Hannah, Kamari. Hi, Angel. Hi, Jonah. I'm going to get the question ready for you guys. So I'm going to type the question in the chat. So the question for today's reading is, what is ironic or interesting about the events at the restaurant after the competition? So obviously we're about to read about them going to a restaurant and something's going to happen. So just be thinking about what's interesting about what happens. I would like to get through chapter 30 today. We're on chapter 26. So I might read for a little bit longer than usual, if that's okay. And then we'll talk about it at the end. It's good to have everybody on here. In the midst of all the commotion, Mr. Deming seemed to get an inspiration. "Let's go out to dinner to celebrate," he announced as the last of the studio lights were turned off. "Great idea," Connor said immediately. "I'm starving," said Amanda. "Even though I wasn't on camera, I've been too nervous to eat all day." "Me too," Alina added. "How about linguinis?" Connor suggested. "They've got all-you-can-eat spaghetti. Leave it to Connor to know the best places to eat." "They might go out of business after you show up, Connor," Mr. Deming said with a laugh. "Don't go embarrassing me now." "Don't worry, Mr. D. My max is about 12 bowls of spaghetti." "Linguini's is perfect," Rose's dad said. "It's a walking distance just around the corner from the studio. These kids deserve a special night out." I looked at Mom, not sure if this was a good idea. Then Alina walked over to me and said, "You'll come too, won't you, Melody?" "Yeah, Melody," Rose added. "Come with us. You did really great tonight." "We wouldn't have won without you," Connor said as he buttoned up his coat. Their words made me feel like one of the helium balloons that some families had brought. "Well, I wouldn't go that far," Molly said, glancing at Claire. "Balloons do pop." "You were up there," Connor reminded Molly. "So you coming or not?" Rose asked. "Sure," I tapped. "It will be fun." I glanced at Mom again, who nodded. Dad took Penny home, and Miss V gave me a hug and promised she'd see me in the morning. The air was brisk and the conversation silly as we headed for the restaurant. "How many windows do you think are in that office building?" Connor shouted, pointing to the tallest one we could see. 5,274, Rose answered. "Man, you're good," Rodney said. "How did you know that?" "How do you think I got on the quiz team?" Rose told him. "I've got smarts." "She's just guessing," Molly told Rodney. "You believe anything." The restaurant hadn't been in that location for years. The outside entrance was designed to look like a bistro from a small Italian village. Painted grape leaves and tiny white lights decorated the bricks around the door. When Connor Dad opened it for everyone to enter, Connor and Rodney bounded up the steps. 5 stone steps led upstairs to the dining area. Everyone, including Mr. Deming, rushed past me and Mom. Finally, Connor's dad, the last to go up, looked at me, looked at the stairs, and then the light bulb came on. Do you need some help?" he asked. He was large like his son. I bet he could swallow a few bowls of pasta as well. Mom replied, Would you be so kind as to ask an employee where their wheelchair ramp is located?" As if glad to have something to do, Mr. Bates dashed up the steps. Mom and I sat there in the cold, alone. A waiter dressed in black rushed downstairs Moments later, I'm so sorry. We have an elevator in the back, but it went on the fritz this afternoon. The technician is coming to fix it first thing in the morning. That's not going to help us tonight, is it? Mom told him. Her voice was tight, but not angry. I'd be glad to help you carry her up the steps, he offered. No, I tapped. My eyes begged Mom. Mom told him, just hold the door open for us, young man. We'll be fine. He did that. Mom turned her back to the stairs, got a good grip on my chair, tilted it back slightly, and took a deep breath. I was so glad we had decided on the manual chair this morning. Mom gently rolled the back of the wheels up the edge of the first stone step. Pull, roll up, bump, first step. Pull, roll up, bump, second step. Pull, roll up, bump, third step. She paused and took another breath. We'd done this before, many times. Pull, roll up, bump, fourth step. Pull, roll up, bump, fifth step. Then we finally rolled into the dining room, which was crowded with noisy, laughing customers. Over here, Melody, Mr. Denny called as he saw us. Mom led me over to our very large table, and I was relieved to see that the group had left a spot for me. With all the kids on the team, plus their parents, we took up a big chunk of the table space in their place. In some restaurants, the tables are too low for my chair, but this time I was able to slide perfectly into place. Mom helped me take off my coat and sat next to me. She gulped the water from her glass and asked for a refill. The waitress began to take orders. Rodney and his parents ordered a large mushroom and onion pizza. We're vegetarians, Rodney explained. I had no idea. Can I get a steak, Dad? Connor asked. His dad clapped him on the back. Sure, I think I'll have one myself. For this one night, you get anything you want. Connor's eyes got large. A whole chocolate cake? You'll barf, boy, his dad replied. I want the pasta delight, Rose told the waitress, with extra cheese. Me too, said Amanda. May I have the spaghetti with meatballs, please? Lena asked. Claire and Ollie both ordered lasagna. When the waitress got to me and Mom, I was ready. I'll have mac and cheese, please, I made Elvira say. The waitress looked a little surprised, since most of the machines were tucked under the table, but she was cool and acted as if she got the orders from the talkers every day. Sure, hon, coming right up. You want some salad with that? No, thanks. She gave me a real big smile, then took Mom's order. Only my mom would order baked fish at an Italian restaurant. As we waited for our food, the cheerful mood continued. Our tables were covered with white paper instead of tablecloth, so everybody, including the adults, had been given crayons and markers. Look at this. I drew a giant monster rabbit, Connor said. He glanced at Rose's drawing and then added large green teeth to his own. And it's going to eat the wimpy bug you just drew, he told her. Rose laughed. Well, this is a poisonous spider, and it's going to bite your silly old rabbit. Rodney and Connor then lined up all the salt and pepper shakers and started tossing sugar packets over the barricade with forks and spoons as catapults. But I noticed that Claire, who was sitting next to Rodney, was strangely quiet and didn't even pick up a crayon. Engage the enemy, Connor cried. Score! You weren't even in my territory, man. Besides, you tossed the pink fake sugar stuff. You only get half a point for that stuff. I sat and watched my teammates do ordinary things. Drawing, laughing, teasing, joking. I really tried to look like I was having two, but all I wanted to do was go home. When the waitress finally brought the food, forks became important for eating, and the war ended suddenly. Conversation slowed down, and everybody dug into their meals. Connor took a huge bite of steak. This is bomb, he said with his mouth full. Mom's fish looked a little, fishy, as she picked it up with her fork. She and I were thinking the same thing. I knew. My food sat untouched in front of me. Our family goes out to restaurants every once in a while. Actually, Penny is more of a problem in a restaurant than I am because she's wiggly and excitable and she's likely to throw her peas on the floor. Usually eating out doesn't bother me. Mom and Dad take turns spooning food into my mouth, and I ignore anyone who is rude enough to stare. But this was different. At school, I eat in a special area of the cafeteria with other disabled kids. The aides put bids on me, feed us, and wipe our mouths while we're down. With the exception of that sip of Coke at the competition, nobody on the team had ever really seen me eat. Rather, be fed. I didn't know what to do. My food sat there getting cold. I looked at Mom. She looked at me. She picked up the spoon there and looked at me with a question on her face. I nodded. Very carefully, she placed a spoonful of pasta in my mouth. I swallowed. I did not spill. I saw Molly poke Claire, and they exchanged looks. Mom spooned one more portion into my mouth. I swallowed. I did not spill. We continued, one spoonful at a time. I was so hungry. Nobody said anything, but I saw them look down at their plates with way too much attention. It got quiet. Even Connor stopped talking. Finally, even Though my plate was still full, I pushed it away. Would you like to take this home, Melody? Mom said. I nodded yes, hugely relieved, and she signaled for the waitress, who also brought dessert menus. Being reminded of cake and ice cream cheered up Connor, who did not order a whole chocolate cake but did order 2 slices. Rodney ordered an apple pie, while Rose asked for pudding. Claire ended up taking her food home in a box as well. She had eaten almost nothing and barely said 2 words all evening. So what did you think about that final question? That was too hard, Rodney said. Piece of cake, Connor replied, laughing at his own joke. He smeared whipped cream over his second piece of cake. Did you see the hair on that announcer? Amanda teased. It never moved. Must have been made of plastic, Rose said, laughing. What are you wearing to the DC competition? Rose asked Claire. Claire just shrugged. I wonder if we'll get to visit the White House while we're there, Amanda mused. That would be awesome. I believe it's our agenda for Saturday, Mr. Deming replied enthusiastically. I'm excited about that as well. So what's with you and Melody being best friends, Claire? Alina asked. Claire didn't answer, but she rubbed her hand over her forehead. I don't feel so good, she said weakly. Is it hot in here? Is it hot in here? No one had time to answer. For that moment, Claire stood up suddenly, clamped her hand over her mouth, and stumbled from her seat. Are you okay? Mr. Deming asked. Before she could finish the question, Claire threw up all over his new shoes. Oh, gross, Connor said, obviously trying not to laugh. Poor thing, said Rose. Whoa, what a stink, man. Rodney covered his nose. Claire's mom rushed her to the bathroom. Mr. Deming rushed out as well, I guess to clean off his shoes. I wondered if Claire felt as embarrassed as I had while Mom was feeding me. Our little victory celebration was clearly over. Parents gathered coats and checks and paid their tabs. Claire returned from the restroom looking pale. No one mentioned the incident. We all headed towards the steps. I thought. Claire gets sick in the middle of a crowded restaurant. Yet I'm the one that everybody looks at sideways. They all had to wait for me and my mom. We took our time. Push gently, roll down, bump. Top step. Push gently, roll down, bump. Next step. Push gently, roll down, bump. Third step. 5 bumps down to the bottom of the steps, and I was still so hungry. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Addison, there is 33 chapters, just to answer your question on there. Okay, chapter 27. The next morning, Mom bounds into my room holding a newspaper. Good morning, my rock star, she greets me. Guess what? Rock star? She's tripping. I turn to look at her. My face says what? You're famous, huh? She gets me out of bed, straps me to my chair, unplugs the talker from the charger, and hooks me up. Then she places the morning paper on top of it. There I sat, plastered on the front page of the newspaper, in color. Wow, I type. The article is all about the team winning the competition, but yours is the only picture they used. Interesting. Why me? Mom smiles quickly. Because you're unique and wonderful and lots more interesting than ordinary 5th graders, I guess, she says. The whole article seems to be focused on you. Team kids won't like that, I type. I'm sure they'll be happy for you, sweetheart. No, they won't. Here, listen to this. She reads me the article. Spalding Street Elementary's talented academic team of 5th and 6th graders won the local Whiz Kids quiz competition last night by a score of 86 to 85. With stunning skills and knowledge, they answered questions far above their grade level to defeat 7 other teams. Makes us sound smart, I tap. And so you are, Mom replies. Math questions make me sweat. I get clammy under my arms just thinking about them. Mom continues. Oh, here's the part about you. Listen to this. One outstanding member of the Spalding team is Melody Brooks, an 11-year-old who has been diagnosed with cerebral palsy. In spite of her physical challenges, Melody's quick and capable mental abilities were able to shine as she led her team to victory. They will hate me, I type glumly. Butterscotch still sleeps in my room, nuzzles my hand. She always seems to know how I feel, but it doesn't help this time. Oh, don't exaggerate. I think it's a lovely article, and your friends should be proud. You don't get it. Mom ignores me and proceeds to get me ready for school. 2 blue t-shirts, one to wear and one to pack just in case. 2 pairs of pants. She never picks out jeans, and I decide not to argue. I have a feeling it's not going to be a good day. What a great photo of you. I'm going to make sure I get extra copies of the paper. She chatters cheerfully as she tugs on my socks before putting on my sneakers. I've got to make sure everybody at work sees this. Dad has finished dressing Penny, and so he brings her into my room. When Penny notices my picture in the paper, she drops Doodle and shouts, Dee Dee! She picks up the paper and kisses it. I bet I won't get any reaction like this at school today. Dad leans over and gives me a kiss on the cheek. I'm so proud. I could pop, he said softly. I love you, Melody. That makes me get all teary. Just once I wish I could hug my little sister or tell my dad I love him too, in real words, not just through the machine. The reaction at school today is just what I expected. Words float out of lips that say nice things to me, but the eyes tell the truth. The eyes are cold, as if I just beat the reporter over the head and forced her to print that picture of me. Even Rose acts distant. Nice picture of you in the paper, Melody, she says. Thanks. Should have been all of us. I think so too, Rose replies. I just sigh. I can't do anything right. I don't want to be all that. I just want to be like everyone else. When we get to Mr. Deming's class, he strides into wearing another brand new suit. There must have been a 2-for-1 sale and a brand new smile. He looks like he might explode with happiness. He carries a stack in the morning newspaper with him. I didn't sleep all night last night, he admits to us. I'm just so very proud of our team and our school. He pauses while the class cheers for the quiz team. Rose, Molly, and Claire smile happily. Connor and Bonnie take bows. A few kids even turn around and look at me with a smile. Do we get free pizza or something? Connor blurts out. Absolutely, Mr. Deming replies. The principal has declared that next Friday is quiz team day, and the entire school is getting treated to free pizzas and sodas. More cheers from the class. Connor looks really pleased. Mr. Deming continues, and I want to give a special shout out to Melody, who really helped us secure our victory. Let's give her a special round of applause. He begins the clapping, and the class joins in, but it seems more polite than sincere. I guess I'm not as cool as free pizza. Who saw the 11 o'clock news last night? Mr. D asked, still beaming. About half the kids raised their hands. I had missed it. I had fallen asleep, exhausted, after we got home. I taped it and I TiVoed it and put it on MySpace, he tells us excitedly. But now we must get back to regular class activities. He sounded disappointed. But how do we get ready for Washington? Rose asked, obviously not ready to let him do that. Teachers are so easily distracted. I knew he'd bite on that one. Mr. Deming smiles again and takes a deep breath. We have only 2 weeks to get ready, Rose. I prepared a packet for each of my team champs, he says as he passes out the paperwork. Take this home and bring it back tomorrow without fail. In it, I've included information about how to redeem the free plane tickets and the info about our hotel and schedule for the days we're in D.C. It also gives details about our practice schedule, which begins today. We will meet every day after school and half a day on Saturday. Saturday? Connor asked, disbelief in his voice. I'm worried about that too. A whole half day? If Catherine can't come, how will I get to the bathroom or eat? I'll bring bagels for breakfast, fruit for snacks, and we'll order burgers for lunch, Mr. Deming tells him. Sounds sort of healthy, Connor responds with a grin, but I'll be there. You skipped a practice and you get bounced to the alternates, Connor. I'm in this to win. Why don't you take a couple days off, my man, Rodney says to Connor. I'd be glad to take your place. Slide you right out in a blink. He sounds serious. No way, man. I'll show, Connor says hurriedly. Molly raises her hand. Mr. Deming, do the alternates go to Washington too? Absolutely. So should I buy a new dress just in case I get on the team? That's up to you, Molly, the teacher replies. Claire raises her hand in. Mr. D, I think I know what Molly's getting at. Since there's 6 people on the DC team instead of 4, which is the alternates that you'll choose? We will use a point system, he replies. The students with the 6 highest scores from all our preliminary rounds will make the final TV team. Sound fair? Claire looks satisfied at that, and she and Molly high-five each other. Mr. Deming finally gets back to the regular classwork, the study of Spain and Portugal, and I do my best to do nothing to call attention to myself. No weird noises or kicks or grunts for the rest of the class. No answers to questions I know. I just sit in the back of the room with Catherine and hope the morning will pass quickly. I spend the afternoon in room H5 where we watch Tom and Jerry cartoons for 3 hours. Can you believe it? After school, Catherine feeds me a pudding cup and some juice just before it's time to go to Mr. Deming's for our first practice. She frowns as I finish my last sip of fruit juice. What's bugging you, Melody? She asks. You should be on top of the world, but you're acting like somebody just popped you in the nose. They don't want me on the team, I tag. That's ridiculous. You were the star last night. That's the problem. Without you, they would not have won. That's the problem. They're scared of me, I try to explain. They think I look funny. You've never let that bother you before, she counters. It's hard to put my feelings into words. That will just come out right on my talker. I know the other kids are uncomfortable with me on the team. There's no other way to put it. My presence was cute at first. May be okay for a local competition, but for the big game on national television, that's different. I'll make them stand out, and not in a good way. I start typing again. I make them look ... I hesitate. Then I type in weird. You're the smartest person on the team, Catherine explains. I drool. So pack a box of tissues. I make funny noises. And Connor farts sometimes. I have to smile at that. No more of this feeling sorry for yourself, young lady. Let's get down to Mr. D's room and kick some butt. Okay, let's go, I type. We roll down the room, and I hold my head high. Well, at least as high as I can when it isn't wobbling around. Nobody says nothing more about the newspaper article, and practice goes on as usual. I answer most of the questions correctly, and by the time Mom picks me up, I feel a little better. But I do notice Rose and Claire and Molly whispering together as I leave. It could be about a new music video or a shopping trip to the mall, or it could be about me. Chapter 28. How can they expect us to get ready in such a short time? Crazy. Plane tickets and permission slips, paperwork and practice. Practice every day for close to 2 weeks. Study every evening with Miss V. Words, cities, states, countries, capitals, oceans, rivers, colors, diseases, weather, numbers, dates, animals, kings, queens, birds, insects, wars, presidents, planets, authors, generals, laws, quotations, measurements, equations, definitions. Whew, my head has been spinning nonstop with facts and figures, but I'm ready now. Our team is ready. Mr. D kept his promise. The 6 highest scores from all of our practice rounds were announced at the last practice session a few days ago. Of course, just like the other kids, I had been keeping a mental tally of everybody's points. So I was pretty sure I'd be one of the on-air contestants, not just an alternate. Mr. Deming almost glowed with anticipation as he made the announcement. He paced nervously, a little more, and the man would be dancing. Here we go, he said. I feel like I need a drum roll or something. Read the list, please, Connor shouted impatiently. Mr. Deming said slowly. The 6 members of the championship Spalding Street Elementary School quiz team are... He paused. I thought Connor was going to throw something at him. Rose, Connor, Melody, Alina, Rodney, and Molly, Claire and Amanda will be our alternates. I'm an alternate? Claire gasped. Molly beat you by 2 points, Claire, Mr. D explained, but you still get to come with us and cheer us on and tour the city. But it was me who helped her study, Claire said, outrage in her voice. That is not fair. I just shook my head and smiled a little. There's so much Claire doesn't know about stuff not being fair. Molly looked smug and not sorry at all. Her mother came to pick her up, and the practice was over. The competition is tomorrow, Thursday evening. Assuming we win, we'll have the Good Morning America appearance on Friday, followed by a trip to the White House. More sightseeing in D.C. is planned for Saturday. Then we come home on Sunday. On Monday, hopefully, we'll return to school as national champions with the trophy. So tonight we pack. I've never been on a trip away from home before, so we have some serious planning to do. I feel crazy excited, crazy nervous. Dad bought me a bright red suitcase with wheels. It smells like the inside of a new car. Touching it makes me smile. Ooh, I moved my table. Mom and I went shopping yesterday, something we don't get to do much anymore. She let me choose a couple of new outfits with jeans. None of those practical, baggy sweatsuits for this trip. As we rolled down the mall, we passed a car shop. I had a brainstorm and tapped on my board. Go in. Get card, please. For whom? Mom asked as we wheeled in there. Catherine, I typed, to thank her for helping me get ready. One for Miss V, too? I tapped out. How very grown up of you, Mom said, clearly pleased. Absolutely. The card we found for Miss V could not have been more perfect. The front was completely covered with hundreds of oranges, except for one blue one in the middle. Inside it said, "You're 1 in a million. Thanks. She'll love it," Mom said. For Catherine, I picked out a card that showed a desk full of computers, MP3 players, and video games, and a young woman connected to all of them with earphones. It read, "Glad you're always there to plug into me. Thanks for all you do." You couldn't have designed those better yourself, Mom said as she paid for the cards. Yep, pretty perfect. Around 7 o'clock, the doorbell rings. It's Miss V coming over to help with the final packing preparations. She and Mom make a great team. I made a checklist according to Mr. Deming's suggestions, Mom said. Black shirt and white blouse for the competition. Check, Miss V says as she neatly folds those 2 pieces into my suitcase. Check, Penny mimics. Extra white blouse just in case, Mom says. Great idea, Miss V replies, nodding. Mom carefully folds in two more shirts and my favorite pair of jeans. Comfortable outfits for sightseeing in Washington. Spending money for souvenirs, sunglasses, camera. Check, 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 Miss V repeats. Pajamas, toothbrush, deodorant, hair clips. All there. A warm jacket. No telling what this March weather will do. Check, Penny cries. Power pack for Mina Talker. Extra batteries, tissues, wipes. Got it. Umbrella? For you or for Melody, Miss V asked with a laugh. Do you have your bag packed? Yeah, I'm just about ready. I'm nervous too, Mom pauses. You're the best, Violet. I know Penny will be safe with you while we're gone. And butterscotch, I interrupt. They both laugh. Mom continues. Frankly, without you, there's no way that Melody would be packing for this trip. Get card, Mom, I type. I reach for my hand to the side, but I can barely touch the edge of my book bag hanging on my chair. Mom reaches into the bag, pulls out the envelope, and sets it on the tray. I push it toward Miss V. She opens it, reads it, then squeezes me so hard I can hardly catch my breath. Then one of on my refrigerator door, she says quietly, I want to look at it every single day. She busies herself with dusting off a pair of my shoes that have never taken a step. I'm a little scared, I admit. Nonsense, Mellow Yellow, Miss V tells me. I fully expect to see you on Good Morning America with that 10-foot-high trophy. That would be awesome, I type. Now, tell me once more, Miss V says to Mom. What time does the plane leave tomorrow? Penny, take Melody's underwear off your head, you silly girl. Mom checks her papers. Plane leaves at noon. That means we should leave here no later than 9. Get you to the airport by 10. Get all checked in. Make sure her wheelchair is properly taken care of and such, and then we can relax until it's time to board the plane. Miss V scratches her head. I wonder why they choose the noon flight. That will get you to Washington around 2. The competition starts at 7. That's cutting it a little close. Mr. Deming told us the hotel was a late check-in policy. The TV studio is just across the street from the hotel, so we'll be fine. As Mom closes and zips my suitcase, I feel tears come into my eyes. I can't believe this is happening. In just one day, I will be in Washington, D.C. on national television. I pray I don't mess up. I want to call Rose and see if she's nervous too. I want to ask her what she'll wear to the White House. Suppose we meet the First Lady. Now that would be bomb. I want to know if we'll be sitting near each other on the plane. I want to be like all the other girls. I don't sleep well that night. In the morning, Mom gets me bathed and dressed and fed in record time while Dad gets Penny ready. Go see plane? She asks repeatedly. Fly, wee! Dad says as he flies her around the room in his arms. She loves it. We head outside and Miss V hurries over, camera in hand. She snaps pictures of me getting strapped in, my suitcase being loaded, and my brave and hopeful victory smile. Then she does it all over again with Dad's camcorder. Now we'll never be able to forget this morning. Penny darts about, chasing Butterscotch, running in circles around the car, which has been washed and shined. Mom, dressed in a cool denim suit and surprisingly a pair of late-style Nikes, loads our bags in the car, and we're totally ready to go by 8:45. Dad takes Butterscotch back to the house and locks the front door on his way out. All set? He asks. Let's do it, Mom yells. Even Penny can feel the excitement. She claps her hands. I can't stop grinning. Even though I know we have plenty of time, I keep wanting Dad to drive faster. I'm so afraid that we'll miss the plane, or that we'll forget my ticket, or that I'll throw up and we'll have to go back home. At the airport garage, we have no trouble finding a row of empty handicap packing spaces. We unload me, my chair, our bags, and Penny and Doodle. Miss V snaps more photos. It seems like hours, but in minutes, we're back at the check-in gate. Miss V pushes me. Mom carries Penny. Dad pulls a cart loaded with the luggage, and Doodle. It's 10 o'clock on the dot. Hi, Mom says cheerfully to the uninformed lady at the desk. We're here to check in for the noon flight to Washington, D.C. She hands the lady our tickets. A noon flight? The woman replies with a frown. She types and clicks, purses her lips, and types some more. Finally, she looks up. I'm sorry, ma'am, but that flight has been canceled. We've had loads of cancellations today. A late winter snowstorm in the Northeast has called backups all over. Canceled? My stomach starts to gurgle. Snow? Mom's voice sounds thick. But the weather here is sunny and it's clear. They've got 5 inches on the ground in Boston already, and more is predicted for this afternoon further south. The FAA won't let planes take off in weather like that, so our whole system gets gummed up. Planes due to arrive here and then return eastward get canceled, meaning our afternoon flights can't depart. It's complicated. Sorry. The desk agent continues to type rapidly. She tells Mom, I can get you and your daughter on the next direct flight, however. It leaves here at 7:23 p.m. and get you to Washington at 9:07. The Weather Service has predicted that the storm system will have fizzled by then, so we can start getting folks where they need to be. Actually, tomorrow it'll all be rain. My heart is thudding now. Would you like me to rebook you now? She smiles cheerfully. She doesn't get it. But the competition starts at 7, Mom mumbles weakly. Excuse me, I didn't hear you, the desk agent says. I can't breathe. Mom speaks a little louder. What about the rest of our group? We're traveling together, a group of school children, quiz team actually. They're all booked on this flight. We've got a competition this evening. Oh, I remember those kids. They were here early this morning. Great group. So polite, well-mannered. They told me all about the competition and the huge trophy they might be bringing home. They came early? Mom croaks. It seems they all went to breakfast together, then came straight here. It's a good thing they did too, or they wouldn't have gotten out. Where are they? Mom asked. Oh, they got switched to the 9 o'clock flight. The last inbound plane to get out before flights started getting canceled. They had to run down to the gate, but they made it just in time. I made sure of it. She looks down at her computer. Yes, that flight left about an hour ago. They're gone? Mom whispers. I feel like I'm going to choke. Are you and your family going to DC to cheer them on? The woman asks. She still doesn't get it. No, my daughter is on the team, Mom explains. We must get to Washington. There isn't another flight, perhaps on another airplane. The woman looks at me and blinks. She starts to ask, but then she catches herself, returns the gaze to her monitor, and begins typing ferociously once more. I can hear her fingernails as they click the keys. Dad places both hands on the ticket counter and leans in toward the agent. I've never seen him so angry. How could this happen? Shouldn't we have been notified the flight was canceled? We try, sir, but it's not always possible, the lady replies, sounding truly sorry. We do advise passengers to call ahead and check their flight status. But this was a trip of a lifetime. You can't possibly understand how important this is to my daughter. I squeeze my eyes shut. Stupid elevator music floats from the tiny airport speakers. I hear no beautiful colors. I smell no lovely aromas. All I can see is the darkness behind my eyeballs. I'm really, really sorry, sir, the lady says. What about the connecting flight? We must get her to Washington this afternoon. The woman types and clicks for what seems like hours. Finally, she looks up. There's no other flights to DC on any other carrier, sir, nonstop or otherwise. The weather system has grounded everything. There will be nothing until later this evening. I'm so sorry, she whispers. I open my eyes because they're filling with tears. Dad walks away from the ticket counter, his face scrunched into tight wrinkles. Then, without warning, he smashes his fist into the wall right behind where I'm sitting. I jerk my head up. I know that had to hurt. I shouldn't have done that, he admits, holding one fist in another. But if I could have smashed my fist against a wall, I would have as well. Miss V looks from Dad to me. I don't understand how this could have happened either, she says to Mom. Shouldn't someone from the quiz team have called you? His voice could crush bricks. The teacher, perhaps? Maybe there was at least there was hope. Surely they didn't leave her behind on purpose. I still have not taken one deep breath. I really do apologize, ma'am, the gate agent finally says. I've even checked airports in the nearby cities. There's no flights out of the area until this evening. I have plenty of seats on our 7 o'clock flight if you'd like me to book you. No, thank you, Mom says quietly. It's too late. The entire airport feels like a vacuum to me. No sound, no voices, no air. Mom walks slowly towards me. I sit there in my new and blue-white outfit with new matching tennis shoes next to my new shiny red suitcase, feeling very, very stupid and angry. How could they do this to me? And helpless. I hate feeling like this. Like when I was little and got stuck on my back like a stupid turtle. There was nothing I could do, nothing. How long does it take to drive to DC? Miss V asks. I don't even look up. I know the answer. 10 hours at the very least, Dad replies, his voice soft. Go fly airplane? Penny asks. No flight today, Dad says, touching her gently on her head with his good hand. Mom rolls me over to a bench on the other side of the check-in area. She kneels down in front of me. She's crying. I don't think I'll ever breathe again. Mom hugs me. It's going to be okay, sweetie. You're still the best, the smartest, most wonderful girl in the world. Somehow we're going to get over this. No, I won't. Miss V wipes her eyes as well. She sits on the bench and takes both my hands in hers. Oh, baby girl, I know this is hard, but this is just no way. There's just no way to get you to Washington. I just sit there. The morning started out like crystal, but the day has turned into broken glass. Chapter 29. When we get home, I ask my mother to put me in bed. I refuse to eat lunch. I try to sleep, but the quiz questions and why questions keep flying into my head. Why didn't they call me? Why didn't they tell me about breakfast? Why can't I be like everyone else? I finally cry into my pillow. Butterscotch nudges me with her nose, but I ignore her. They left me on purpose. How could they do that? They left me on purpose. I feel like stomping on something. Stomping and stomping and stomping. That makes me even crazier because I can't even do that. I can't even get mad like a normal kid. Penny peeks into my room. Then when she sees I'm awake, she climbs up on my bed and snuggles close to me. She smells like watermelon bubble bath. She tries to count my fingers, then tries to count her own. But all she knows is 1, 2, 3, 5, so she says that over and over. Then she tries to teach Doodle to count. 2, Doodle, 2. I feel myself relaxing a bit. Oh, here you are, Penny, Dad says from my doorway. Are you making Dee Dee happy? Dee Dee, good girl, she tells Dad. Yes, she is, the very best. Dad agrees. You okay, Melody? He asks as he comes over to stroke my hair. I nod. I point to Dad's left wrist, which is wrapped in an ace bandage. Yeah, it hurts, he says. That was a dumb thing to do, but I guess it made me feel better. I nod again. He lifts Penny from my bed with his right arm, ready for a snack. He lifts Penny from my bed with his right arm. Ready for a snack, Miss Penny? He asks her. Hot dog, she demands. Do you want me to fix you something, Melody? He asks me. I'm not hungry. I shake my head and point to the clock. Maybe later, Dad asks. I smile at him, and he quietly leaves her with my sister. The phone rings. I hear Mom say, Oh, hello, Mr. Deming. She walks quickly into my room, portable phone to her ear, her palm so tight around the receiver I can see the veins on the top of her hand. No, I don't understand, Mom said curtly. Why weren't we called? She listens to him for a minute, then bursts out angrily. We could have easily been at the airport an hour earlier. We have been there at dawn. She's almost shouting. Do you know how much this has devastated my daughter? A pause. Yes, I'm aware she's probably the brightest person on the team. Was. The word is was. There is no is. Mom pauses to listen again. You'll make it up to her. You have got to be kidding. Mom hangs up on him and flings the phone into a corner. She wipes her eyes, pulls a tissue box from the box on my desk, and sits down heavily on the chair next to my bed. I listen to her blow her nose, and then I turn over. Oh, Melody, if only I can make this hurt go away, she says plaintively. I blink away my own tears. She pulls me up onto her lap. It isn't snugly fit as it used to be, but it feels good. She rocks me, humming softly. I finally fall asleep, listening to the rhythm of her heartbeat. Okay, I'm going to read one more chapter. It says it's about 11 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it, but we will not do the question at the end, okay, because I know we've been on here for a little bit. Chapter 30. What happened today was all my fault. I should have listened. We should have all stayed home and spent the day together, but we didn't because of me. When I woke this morning, it was raining, thunder, lightning, wind, a constant soaking downpour that laughed at umbrellas and raincoats. The air itself was gray and heavy, thick with too much moisture. I could hear it pounding on my window. Dad came into my room and sat down in our old reading chair. He held his wrist carefully. Mom had put his arm in a sling. Messy day out there, he said. I nodded. Your team got beat in one of the late rounds in D.C. last night, he told me. They got 9th place, a little bitty trophy. But they weren't my team anymore. I tried to pretend like I didn't care. I blinked real hard and faced the wall. I wish I could fix this for you, Melody, Dad said quietly as he headed out of my room. That made the tears fall for real. At first, I didn't want to go to school. I'd been excused because I was supposed to be in Washington, and if I went in, I'd have to sit all day in room H5 with Willie and Maria and Freddie. It seemed pointless. But as I thought about it, I changed my mind. I felt sorry for myself, shift to mad again. The mad made me decide I was not going to sit at home like a kicked-around puppy. I was going to show up and let everybody know they didn't beat me. Mom leaned on my door just then and said, You want to stay home today? No one will blame you. I shook my head forcefully. No, no, no. I kicked the covers off my feet. She sighed. Okay, but the weather's ugly and I woke up with a migraine. Plus, Penny is sick. And Butterscotch threw up on the carpet. I had to put her in the basement. She got me bathed and dressed and took me downstairs. Usually Dad carries me up and down the steps, but with his arm out of commission, Mom just grunted, lifted me, and did it herself. She eased me into my manual chair. My electric chair and lightning storms don't mix well. Hooked me up my old plexiglass talking board. ditto for Elvira, then sat down to catch her breath. It looks like we're going to have one stormy day, honey, she said as she glanced at the wet mess staring out the window. As she ran a brush through my hair, she whispered, I'm so sorry, my Melody, so sorry about everything. I reached up and touched her hand. The rain continued to fall. She made me breakfast, scrambled eggs and cream of wheat, fed me, one spoonful at a time. She kept placing her palm against her forehead. She was unusually quiet. I was wondering if she was thinking about how many times she had fed me and how many more times she would have to do it. Wearing a floppy yellow hat and yellow duck-footed sleepers, Penny wandered into the kitchen, coughing and sneezing. Mom stopped feeding me, found a Kleenex, and wiped Penny's nose. She hated that, of course, so she screamed like she was being tortured by the enemy spies. Normally, Mom would make a game of it and wipe Doodle's nose as well to make Penny tolerate it better, but I guess she didn't feel like it this time. Then the phone rang. Mom answered, a spoon in one hand, the dirty Kleenex in the other. Hello. You what? You need me to come in, but I'm off today. I'm supposed to be in Washington. She paused. Long story. I cringed. Penny continued to howl. She ought to put Penny in the basement with the dog, I thought, frowning. Butterscotch scratched ferociously at the basement door. Penny, please, Mom cried out, cupping her hand over the phone. I can't hear. Penny quieted a little, but only because she had squatted down on the floor and put both hands in Butterscotch's water bowl, sloshing water all over the floor. Mom listened for a minute and said into the phone, How bad is the accident? Lots of injuries? Okay, I understand. I'll be there, but I have to wait until I get my daughter on the school bus. She hung up the phone and sighed, squeezing the tissue into her fist. I've got to go to the hospital, Chuck, she called out to Dad. Big pile up on the freeway. Are you dressed and ready? Dad came downstairs, still in his pajamas. I'm not going in today, he announced. You almost never take a day off, Mom said, a surprised frown on her face. My wrist is aching. The weather's awful. Penny has a cold, he explained. Why don't you just stay home with me today, he said to me. But no, I kicked and shrieked and insisted on going to school. Can't miss today, I pointed. Must go, must go. Mom just put her head in her hands once more. Get Penny out of the dog dish, was all she finally said. Dad ripped a bunch of paper towels from the roll, cleaned up Penny's mess, and wiped her nose with a wet paper towel. That started her screaming again. Her screech became a shriek. That's when she reached up and knocked over the cup of orange juice on my tray. My clean blouse was a sloppy mess. She did that on purpose, I thought angrily. Mom simply shrugged her shoulders and yanked off my shirt in one motion. She told Dad, Melody is determined to show up at school. Why, I do not know, but she may as well go. I couldn't explain to them that I wanted to see Catherine. Somehow I felt like she'd talk to me and make me feel better. She's a college kid. She would know what to say. Besides, I have to give her that card today. It took Mom several minutes to find a new shirt for me until she remembered all the clean clothes in my suitcase. When she rolled that red suitcase into the kitchen, I looked at her, then looked away. I refused to cry anymore. For some reason, the bus came early this morning. I had just got my clean shirt on, my book bags still need to be packed, and my lunch in Catherine's car, and I had to go to the bathroom. Even over the noise of all the rain and the thunder, the honk of the bus blared clearly. It always sounded like a goose in pain. I heard Dad open the front door and wave the driver on. He yelled, Don't wait, Gus, she's not ready. The driver, a sandy-haired man who's been on the route for a couple of years, beeped once more, then rumbled on. Gus is really cool and often waits a few minutes as parents hustle to get their children out of their houses. It just takes us longer sometimes to get it together in the morning. Melody, baby, why don't you just stay home with Dad and Penny today, please? Mom asked as she lifted me off the toilet. It's such an icky day. I kicked and cried again, shaking my head. No, no, no. I didn't know why it was so important, but I knew I had to show up. Maybe I wanted to let everybody know that the team had done to me. I wasn't really sure. I only knew I had to go to school. Mom sighed and pulled up my jeans, and when I got back into my chair, I pointed to thanks and Mom. She just shook her head and stuffed my lunch into my book bag. The rain didn't seem to be letting up, so Mom took a deep breath and stared at the process of loading me into the car. When I ride the bus, I simply roll down our ramp, down the driveway, onto the bus lift, and into a specifically designed area of the bus that straps my chair into place. But when I ride in the car, it involves a whole process of taking apart and putting together me, my chair, and my stuff. Even with my manual chair, it's a pain. And Dad was no help. With his arm in a sling, he shrugged and tried to look like he was sorry he couldn't come out and lend Mom a hand. I think he was enjoying it a little, and that made Mom even more upset. The rain and the wind, if anything, had gotten worse. Mom had draped a huge plastic raincoat over me and my chair, and another one over herself. But the second the hood had blown off and our heads were soaked. We headed slowly down the wheelchair ramp, and the wind whipping at us and the rain attacking us from all sides. I thought it was exciting. I've never seen the sky so dark at 8 in the morning. The thunder and the wind made it feel like a scene out of a really good movie. My hair is short and curly, and I think it looks sort of cute when it's wet. Good thing. Mom hates it when her hair gets wet. It's all stringy and limp. I gotta admit, Mom with wet hair should be in a closet. She opened up the car door on the passenger side, and the wind blew it shut. She did it again, and this time using me and my chair as a doorstep. The front seat of the car, of course, was getting soaked. She lifted me into the seat, strapped me in, and began the process of collapsing my chair. Fortunately, most of it's plastic and leather and metal, but I knew it would stay damp all day, even if somebody wiped it off real good when I got to school. Mom placed my chair along with my old communication board onto the back of the SUV. When she shut the trunk, she slammed it hard. The rain had continued to fall. By the time she scooted into the driver's seat, she was dripping a mess and in a terrible mood. I wish I could go back to bed, she said grumpily as she put the key in the ignition. My head is killing me. Why did I agree to go to work? I'm supposed to be off today with you in Washington. She sighed heavily. I kicked my legs in response, but only a little. I didn't want to upset her even more. That's when I glanced over and noticed she had forgotten my book bag, Catherine's card. I reached over, grabbed Mom's arm, and pointed to my feet. What? She said in an irritated voice. I kicked, I pointed, I grunted, and then I pointed to the house. Dad, who was changed into thick gray sweats, was standing there at the front door grinning, my denim book bag in his right hand. I could see Penny in her little yellow duck pajamas and a yellow rain hat standing behind him. She had Doodle and my mom's red umbrella in her hands. Lightning crackled, thunder followed, the rain poured. I watched Mom's hands tighten on the steering wheel. She made a noise that sounded like something I would say, almost like a growl. Ugh! She flung open the door, stomped back into the storm, up the ramp, and then snatched the book bag from Dad. She was sopping by the time she got back in the car. Dad waved his bandaged arm from the porch one last time, then turned and went back into the dryness of the house. I watched as the front door almost closed. That's when I saw a bundle of yellow dragging a red umbrella dart out of the house. I saw her for only a second, but I saw. I screamed, I kicked, I flailed my arms. The windows were almost completely fogged up, and they got even worse as I continued to act like I had been possessed by demons. Mom looked at me as if I had lost my mind. She screamed at me, "Stop it! Are you crazy?" But I wouldn't stop. I couldn't. I banged the car window. Mom pulled Mom's shirt, hit her head. I pinched her, or at least tried to. "I can't take it anymore, Melody," she screamed over the thunder. "I hate it when you get like this. You've learned to control yourself. Now quit." She put her hand on the keys to start the car. I screamed and reached over and tried to pull the keys from her. I scratched the back of Mom's hand. She smacked me on the leg. She's never raised a hand at me before. Never. I still didn't stop screaming and kicking and jerking. I had to tell her that Penny was out there. Never have I wanted words more. I was going out of my mind. I'm taking you to school, and I hope they keep you, Mom mumbled under her breath. Angrily, as she turned on the car, a rush of air started to clear the windows. The windshield wipers rocked at their fastest speed. I cried, huge sobbing tears. I grabbed at Mom's arm once more, but all she did was shake my arm away. I could tell she felt like hitting me, but she didn't. Her lips were tight. She looked out the rearview mirror. She put the car in reverse. I shrieked. I screeched. I yelled. The rain poured. The thunder roared. Slowly, the big car rolled backward. I felt a soft thud. I became deadly silent. Mom stopped, turning her head slowly to the left. Then she turned slowly to the right, almost as in slow motion. Then she saw Dad coming, running out of the house, a look of stark alarm on his face. "Penny!" I heard him yell. "Where's Penny?" Mom rolled the window down on my side. Rain poured underneath, but I didn't care. "What do you mean she's with you?" Mom. "What do you mean she was with you?" Mom's voice was low, but sounded frantic and very scared. She got out of the car. She looked down. She screamed for a long, long time. Her screams were louder than the police sirens that eventually came shrieking around the corner. Louder than the fire truck and the ambulance sirens that followed them. Louder than my silent cries. I sat there for what seemed like hours, basically forgotten, strapped in the front seat of my car as the rain poured in my open window. I ached with fear. Okay, we're going to stop there. They've had a really bad 2 days. We have been at this for almost 50 minutes, so I'm going to get off here kind of quickly. One thing Abby said was one of the interesting events at the restaurant is that the front page of the newspaper with the winning team in the competition was Melody on the cover, and her classmates were so happy for her. All right, so thank you guys for joining today. Thanks for your patience. Again, it was a long one. We have nothing tomorrow, Wednesday at 10 o'clock again, and then Thursday we have our Zoom at 10. We will probably finish the book on Wednesday unless something happens. So that's our plan. Thanks for joining us today. Bye. The Zoom meeting is Thursday at 10.